this Sky Sports interview with Barry Hearn, it says Anthony Joshua is giving Deontay Wilder an opportunity to live the dream. And starts up by saying Deontay Wilder feels jealousy towards Anthony Joshua, claims Barry Hearn. He said there's a contract on Wilder's people's desk which says April 13, 2019, Wembley Stadium. The contract encapsulates all terms that you agreed to. There's only one thing that you've got to do, and that's sign the contract. But boxing hadn't gone anywhere for 10 years, but suddenly it's hot as hell. It is a sexy sport. We need to keep coming with big fights, and there's nothing bigger than Anthony Joshua. We appreciate Deontay Wilder is making any money. He probably looks at Joshua with a good degree of jealousy, which I do agree with. I'm the biggest name in America, but I'm earning less than a tenth of what Joshua earns per fight. Wilder has something in front of him where he can plan his future. He can earn 5 or 6 times more than he's ever earned. It's actually funny, if you guys look at the context of this, because you have here Deontay Wilder saying Wilder's team, you have Wilder saying that Joshua's team are not looking out for his best interest by not accepting the 50 million. But then you have Deontay Wilder, who's earning 2 million per fight, and he's been offered 15 million plus a potential 5 million, so that's 20 million, right? And he's not accepting it, but then he thinks that his team is doing him a service. I don't know if I'm stupid here. I don't know if I'm not able to see, if I'm seeing something way different here. Is there a picture that I'm not seeing clearly? Because please explain to me how someone could say that another team is doing him a disservice by not accepting 50 million, but your team are not accepting, and you're not accepting 20 million when your max is 2.1 million. Something doesn't sound right. Anyways, as you've seen, there's a contract on the table for Deontay Wilder to sign. And I guess the biggest part I'm going to take here is about, he says, we appreciate Wilder, but he probably looks at Joshua with a good degree of jealousy. I think jealousy is probably an understatement here. I think he's jealous. I think he's bitter. Bitter is the word to even use. He's just jealous. He's bitter. He's upset, and he takes that. And rather than, and that's a fair point, because boxing is a sport where it's about every man for himself, And Wilder's probably not the only person. Fury's jealous as well. There's other boxers out there. Miller is also jealous. But it's about how you program it. How you program what you're feeling and make it to your advantage. Now, you can be jealous and, use that as an opportunity to get into the ring with the fighter. Make yourself some good cash as well. Now, what I mean by this jealous and bitter is that if you look at when Joshua was about to go fight Charles Martin, Deontay Wilder, and if you then hear Fury, predicted that Joshua was going to lose. Now, Joshua ends up going to win. Wilder's excuse was that Charles Martin his shorts were too tight. That's why he lost the fight. But Brazil comes over to fight. Wilder predicts that Brazil is going to win. Brazil takes the L as well. Molina obviously came over to fight. Here we have it again. Wilder predicts that Joshua is going to lose because he gave Wilder a tough 9 rounds. He said Molina's got heart. That's what his words were. He said Molina's got heart. The man's been through tough times, and he's a good fighter. Man gets blown out in 3 rounds. Klitschko goes ahead and he says his word is he says and this was the words if I remember clearly. He says my heart wants Joshua to win, but my head says Klitschko is going to win. I think that's what he says. And he said Klitschko is just more experienced fighter, blah, blah, blah. And that he thinks Klitschko is going to win. Obviously, Joshua wins. And then he goes on and says that Klitschko was old, blah, blah, blah. And then Joshua is making more money. And then he goes on and he says that the reason he's making money is because the UK is a smaller place. The UK is a smaller market. and so therefore that's why they're able to attract. Now, if you guys want to use business idea in economics here, is that when you have a bigger population, does that not improve or increase your chances of being able to sell your product versus when you have a smaller population? Do you understand? Do you get my point? It's easier for you to sell 10, or it's even for you to sell 100,000 I don't know, shirts to a population of 10 million people than it is for you to sell 100,000 shirts to a population of 1 million people. Do you understand? Because the market is bigger. You have more people earning more. You have more people that are willing to look at your product. Now, if you're not being advertised properly, that is your fault, mate. Don't blame it on other people and say, oh, the reason why this guy's earning. So it's just ridiculous, baseless arguments that he makes. Ridiculous, baseless, and it's just full of hate, bitterness. And then he goes on and he says, oh, I'm happy for my black brother earning, that he's making money for himself, blah blah. You're not happy for him. You're not happy for him, man. You're two-faced. You contradict yourself, and then you go on and you say Hearn contradicts himself. Come on. Anyways, there you have it. Deontay Wilder, he's given a lifetime opportunity for Barry Hearn and from Hearn's team. The contract's still available on the table. You can sign it whenever you want. Odds on he's not going to sign it because he already asked for 50-50, pricing himself out of the fight. Well, yeah, anyways. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section and subscribe. It's MC Boxing them out.